All right, that is applause for South Africa. No load shedding in the last 100 days. A number of my subscribers and viewers from South Africa informed me that there was no load shedding due to the elections in South Africa. So for over 100 days, there have been no load shedding. You've had electricity continuously. That's like amazing, amazing. Congratulations. Happy for you all. Very happy for you all. And I hope that continues. I'm hopeful that South Africa will improve their not only their load shedding, but decrease poverty, increase employment. My understanding is that in South Africa there is overall 33% unemployment. That's a high number, and I understand from the World Bank, I believe it was the World Bank that said that that is one of the highest rates of unemployment in the world. So we need to improve that. The standard of living is good in South Africa compared to a lot of other African countries and other countries in the world. But there's the potential to do so much more for the majority of people in that country. And I'll talk about some of my ideas about that. I'm no expert. I'm not a politician. But I've lived a long time in the United States, and I've been around the world traveling. I've been to many countries, it's about 30 countries. And so, I have some ideas that I'd like to share. I'll give some statistics about the demographics in the United States and in South Africa, because I want to give some insight to the average Black South African that I don't think that they know. I see when I was traveling around that, when I was in Uber cars, for instance, the Uber drivers, everybody wanted to go to America. When I was in restaurants, the servers, when I was in the condo hotels, the people who worked there, it seemed like everybody was excited about America and wanting to live there or to visit. It's great to visit, but to live is another story. And I wanted to go over some demographics that might help explain why I feel the way I do. Stay with me with the statistics. I think it's pertinent to go over them so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. So the population in South Africa is 60 million people. The population in the United States is 5 times more than that. It's 335 million. Okay, I'm going to put some numbers up that hopefully that will help you stay with me on these numbers. Okay, 5 times as much people are in the United States than in South Africa, because the United States is a larger country, not only in people but in land mass. Okay, in South Africa, the majority of race we know is blacks, right? About 80% South Africans are black, which comes to a number of about 50 million black people in South Africa. In the United States, there's only 43 million blacks. However, the amount of white people in the United States is 235 million, and you all only have 4 million white people in South Africa. That is where the big difference is, I think. Okay, we as black people in America and black people in South Africa have both struggled with white oppression over the years, for hundreds of years. You had the Dutch and you had the English and more that came to, and then apartheid in South Africa. We had slavery, we had segregation. Thank God all of that has changed. You all have come a long way. But the oppression and the neglect of blacks in South Africa still remains in a lot of ways. I read some statistics on schools. I'll go over that a little later. To get back to my point about the demographics. So, in America, you have 200 and because the percentage is about 70% white in America. So you have 235 million white people in America, and you have only 4 million white people in South Africa. Do you see the significance in that? I hope you do. The mentality of a lot of white people, whether it's in the United States or South Africa, is still unfortunately not accepting of us, or have that mentality of oppression or white supremacy against us. So it's not easy to live around people who always think that they're better than you because of the color of their skin. And they have land, and they have money, and they have power. But I think because the majority of people in South Africa are black, you have a better chance of taking more control over your state of affairs, your standard of living, your education, everything, than in America in general. Okay? There's always exceptions to the rule. Some black Americans have done very well in this country, in America. They, even people from outside of America, immigrants have come in and have done quite well. I want to give an example of Nigeria. There are a lot of Nigerians that have come to this country and have done quite well. A lot of them have done well because they were highly educated. Doctors in engineering, doctors in medicine. And the black foreign doctors in America, the majority of them are Nigerian. And, so education is a key to getting out of poverty. Most of the poverty in South Africa is in the black population. And the education for blacks in South Africa is still not good compared to the white people in South Africa. So that needs to change. The statistics I heard about the education in public schools for blacks or for the public is this. Excuse me for one moment. Okay, here we go. According to a 2020 Amnesty International report, out of 23,471 public schools in South Africa, 20,000
19,000 had no
of
running
them
water,
had no
and
laboratory,
3,000
meaning no
still used
toilets.
pit latrines.
To me, that's unacceptable. How can you have your children going to school when there's no toilets? That's not sanitary. So there's a lot of people in South Africa, black people, that are living in unsanitary standards of living, going to school in their neighborhoods, and it's not fair. But I think because you all are the majority, that you could change that if you want. You've come a long way. You've overcome through blood, sweat, and tears, overcome apartheid. You've built that country up. The roads are wonderful, infrastructure of roads, gardens, homes, beautiful homes, buildings are nice. The roadway is nice. There's
And the miles of promenade built along the east coast of South Africa is so wonderful and
beautiful, just to walk. I mean, all of that was built by us, right? Black Africans in South Africa built all that beauty. It's time for you to enjoy what you spent your hard energies, which you sacrificed. People, the diamonds and the gold and all the work that was done to build up South Africa was done at the mercy of black people. Don't think that you should go to another country now. That was a time to enjoy the fruit of your labor and the fruit of your ancestors' labor. You've worked so hard for such a beautiful, beautiful country that you have now. So, the politics, I know it's not easy. There's greedy people that just want for themselves and they're not looking out for the masses of people. But I'm still hopeful that you all can get it right and get better. I would say that education is one of the key things to getting out of the unemployment situation and the poverty. Um, One of the things that in the United States that they do to improve um, the unemployment rate is to work on building the infrastructure in America, building more highways, building more bridges and neighborhoods and things like that. So that can be done. There's so much need for building in the black communities, the villages in South Africa. That's a way to create jobs right there. Instead of, some people are looking to get handouts from the government. Of course, you need to help your people one way or the other. But I would say one of the better ways is to educate and give them jobs. Let people work to get the money and building up those areas in South Africa that are poverty stricken. It would look better for your country. People would be more happy, well off, and it would raise the standard of living and the amount of value that your rand has, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong or add. I'm open to comments. Be nice, but I'm rooting for South Africa. I want you all to continue to prosper, and I want to see my people do well. You have a wonderful country. Be proud of it. Be hopeful. And in the meantime, I wish you much joy, love, and peace. All right, bye.